And we're back. Thank you for staying tuned to Sports Federation TV right here on CTV. Well, Jugskei is our next guest, and this is a 270-year-old sport that is played and developed in South Africa. Joining me now is Mr. Dirk Brits, the Vice President of Jugskei, to tell us more about this sport. Welcome, Mr. Brits.
Thank you very much.
So, Jugskei, let's start with exactly what is this sport?
Jugskei is a precision throwing sport. The skei itself coming out of the juk for the oxes with the skeis in next to the neck of the, so the boers at that stage utilize those skeis, they pull it out for leisure time and throw it. Then it developed and it looked like a bottle at this stage from rubber, and the handle normally you made to fit your hand from wood. So the maximum weight is 1.8 kgs and the maximum length is 460 mils by 75 mils. That's the max. There's minimum in all that dimensions. Then you throw it according to your age and your gender at certain distance. So what we're saying, like myself, when you're getting older, the stripes in front of you getting less and less, so you're standing nearer to the pin. So you're throwing over, for the seniors, they play, men, they play over 16 meters and the women from 14 meters. So they do have an advantage.
To understand you correctly, you're saying that you throw a wooden peg of a certain weight and measurement, a certain distance, and then the person who throws it furthest with...
No, the certain distance. So it's a precision throwing sport. So you have
at a target.
At a target, the peg that's planted in a sand pit, and then you count up to 23. So every time that you throw, every person do have one pair, two skeis. Every time that you throw, you can either add your score or subtract the other one's score. So you can count up till you reach 23. If you say, for instance, I have 19 and you start throwing, each time that you throw a peg out of the ground, it's 3 points, and if you lie within 460 mils, and that counting is similar to bowls. The nearest one always cancel the rest of the opposition.
Right.
So you need then 4 points to 23. If for whatever reason you hit the pack and you lie within 46 and you've got 23, and the opposition can play one of your lies that's outside that 460 in, so then you burst. Then you have to start from zero and they can go forward from where they are.
Now I've read that this sport was even played on the Great Trek. So, and it's one of the oldest sports in the country.
Yes.
But yet not everyone knows about its wonderful history. Can you maybe just tap on that for us?
He actually started here in the Western Cape. The guys that bring wood from Swellendam with the ox wagon to Cape Town, they start playing it as leisure time. And that was in the 1734. And then it died away and picked up and died away. And then with the great remuneration of the Great Trek in 1938, then they decide, let's make it a sport code. So in 1940, that's when they actually start playing. The 25th of October 1940, they officially start with Jugskei.
Wow. So I've heard a rumor that Jugskei is one of the most popular target throwing sports in the country, because there are other target throwing sports. How true is that?
That's true, but it's difficult. It takes time. But once you play it, you get lost. In that respect, it's taking all your time because you want to play, and you can play it from the time that you can start throwing Jugskei till you go into the grave. So it's
Just the lines get closer.
yeah, the lines get closer.
Lovely. So tell us about the tournament in Jakarta.
That was last year with the Tafisa Games. Then the Jugskei South Africa sent over 2 people. Actually, they went over, I think, 15 in total from all the indigenous sport codes, but only 2 for Jugskei, where they're going to advertise the sport code per se, and not playing. They're only going there and they advertise. During the Tafisa Games, it's all the countries coming together and to come and advertise their indigenous sport codes.
Now, the sport of Jugskei, it has very, very strong roots in the Afrikaans community.
Yes.
How have you addressed the transformation issues in that sport, in your sport?
What we did, and I was challenged actually last year, I was part of when the minister said to the Big 5, they can't do any big home games or whatever. And then I was inspired by what he said, and Dr. Basson, who do the EPG reports for the minister. There is a way that we can now do our stuff, and we must utilize that to our benefit. So I chat to our board of directors, and I said, give me the chance and opportunity that I can put a plan for us on the table, which I did. And I went to all the provincial local governments, especially the directors of sport and recreation, arts and culture, and I present them our transformation plans, which they all accepted very well. They said they will definitely help us in that. And now it's a question of that the federation and the local governments must come together, sit around the table and discuss how are we going forward. They will help us with money because we are an amateur sport code, and we would like to get those people from townships and that to come and play. Yes, they're excellent. We're sitting in Khayelitsha with people that already got their colors, national colors.
And in terms of resources, I mean, how expensive is the sport to participate in, equipment-wise?
Equipment-wise, is if you buy it, it's a once-off actually. It is 1,000 rand for a pair of skates. But your money your yearly fees is about 450 rand, depending where you are in the country, what club you're belonging to, and so forth. And to travel to our Mecca for Jugskei, and that's in Kroonstad. That Mecca. Yeah, that make it a little bit expensive, but not that expensive. For Western Cape people, they can go, I think, more or less Western Cape 2,951. That's for a senior playing up to district level.
So you will need support then in terms of financial resources.
Yes.
If you want to tap into the population that cannot afford to join that sport.
Absolutely.
Well, at least you've got the ball rolling, or the Jugskei moving in that direction.
And I can say that the Western Cape provincial government is very positive in helping us to do that.
So besides the transformation issues and getting the ball rolling on your project, what are some of the other challenges that you are facing?
We must also have, and I'm talking to the present about the present players, we must also transform in our ideas, like in when to have our meetings, not during night time, because these people coming from townships can't travel that. So to change that. Also, women in sport, we struggle with white women. What about the other colors coming in? That's the other thing. To get it into your mind that presently, I think the under 19s in South Africa, whites, is 700,000. By the year 2025, it will be around about 40% less. So yes, we must go out and we must get those people, make Jugskei interest for them and get them to come and play Jugskei to go further than for the next 200 years.
Thank you for that. I mean, the fact that your organization has such strong roots in one culture, but is so open to inviting other cultures in to develop them and give them access to a sport, because we know what sport can do for people, psychologically, mentally, socially. And it's a relatively cheaper sport to participate
definitely.
in.
I think that's the main problem, because it's cheap. If we're going to ask the people 1,000 rand administration fees or whatever, then they will say, let's go there. But we would like to make it as cheap as possible so that we can gain as much people to come and play.
Absolutely. So transformation it has so many other issues other than race. Is there any other arenas that you're tapping into in terms of schools, etc.?
Yes, we're getting a lot of money from Sport and Recreation South Africa for school sports. So that's where we gain the most. But the problem is where the state's money stops to get further. Give you a small example. We've got over 900 white school boys playing Jugskei. Only 190 of them going through to the senior ranks. Right. Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
And that's not even speaking about the other cultures and races.
Okay, I see. It's quite a...
Yeah.
And it's also the modern times and keeping the sport relevant, yes. With so many other sports being offered out there. Thank you, Mr. Brits, for joining us, and thank you for your development efforts in trying to make the sport accessible to everybody.
Thank you very much.
I hope you come back with good news next time.
I'll do so.
Okay, that's all from Jugskei, South Africa, one of South Africa's oldest sports. Right now, it's time for that Bashes competition. Remember, Bashes is over 120 years old and one of Cape Town's favorite cool drinks with their assorted flavors that everybody loves, and everybody's got a Bashes story. Now, to win that case of assorted Bashes drinks, all you need to do is SMS Bashes to 33090. That's Bashes to 33090. Last week's winner was Mavis Coericius. Congratulations, Mavis. And you can expect your case of Bashes in the post very soon. After the break, we have an administrator and player joining us from one of Cape Town's most loved sports. Black Ball Pool is here again, so don't go anywhere.